Donna's here, and I was excited to hear her talk. I've been lucky enough that she spent the night at my house, she and her hubby and our wonderful dog were there, and she is going to talk to us. And please come up here, Reverend Donna.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The fun thing about visiting from out of state is I get to sleep at lots of places. Our standing joke is, but I have to shave my legs. So it's so good to see everyone. Some new faces and some familiar faces. I was telling Z, I've known Judy way longer than I've known you, because I've known Judy for 32 years now. I just was figuring it out. My son was 2 years old when we met originally, so it's fun. Well, today I wanted to talk about, we're coming into the harvest time of the year, soon upon us, with fall coming. So I wanted to talk about the time of harvest and harvesting your own bounty. And what is it that you are harvesting in your own life currently? For some of us, it'll be what we want, exactly what we want, and for others, it might be, I'm not harvesting quite what I'd like to get out of the potential. So first of all, we should talk about what seeds are you sowing, because sometimes what we're getting back is what we're putting out there. Sometimes we're aware of it and sometimes we're not aware of it. So starting with self-talk, what are you telling yourself? What are you believing from yourself? Are you believing the lesser than the amazing, amazing creation that you are and have the potential to be? Author Norman Peale Vincent, in his book, The Power of Positive Thinking, which is a very old book, but he talks about the importance of believing in yourself first, and coupling that with knowing that we walk and are supported by our God, Goddess, Spirit, Divine, fully and completely. And the question is, are you tapping into your unlimited universal powers to create your own miracles in your life? Stuart Wilde, in his book, Miracles, reminds us that we are eternal, universal and infinite, and what you are is beautiful, just exactly how you are. Each of you beautiful, beautiful miracles. And during these times of kind of ups and downs and lots of changes in our country and in our world and in our earth and fires and floods and so on, it's really important to center yourself and recenter yourself and center yourself again, because it's so easy to get off, let yourself get off centered. So take a moment and just, that wonderful meditation, Janet's wonderful, wonderful music. Just take a moment to ground and center yourself. And as you start your day, remember to center yourself And before you begin your night, remember to shake all of the day's events off and center yourself. Because the dream time is equally as important as the daytime. And of course, in the place where we are in the world today, what you wish for, good or bad, really is almost instant. And karma, if you will, is almost instant. So when people put out negative things, I think we've all witnessed it come back to that person almost instantly and unexpectedly. So just be sure that you're being in the here and now, in the present, and that you're sending out wonderful things for yourself and the world. Because as was already spoken about, we really are in the universal law. So when we see floods or we see things, it really is within the universal scope of where things need to be. But we do have the option to obviously feed the joy and feed the love and feed the wonder. And as Dottie spoke, even when we're observing things that we're in disagreement with, we can send that love. We can send that person love. We can not like what people do and still love them. And I'm sure we all have relatives that we do that all the time. I've seen families get in horrific arguments here lately, and people disown each other over politics. What a sad thing. So we don't have to go there. And in our family, we just agree to disagree, and we don't even talk about it. So sometimes that's the best thing we can do, is just, I honor you, I honor your beliefs, and I honor myself and my own beliefs, and we're not going to discuss that. And it's so helpful too, because sometimes we have family members that were argumentative to begin with. Nobody has any of those in their family, right? And I really, really had to learn that if I don't bite when they send it out, if I don't react, it doesn't go anywhere, because they're so frustrated when they put out little things to try and get you involved in or engaged in an argument. But if you don't argue, they don't know what to do. It just ends. And so you can use that in your workplace, in your family, with your friends. Using all your senses, especially your higher consciousness. Because we hear things, we feel things, we go into a room where someone's had an argument or something negative's going on, and we sense all that. So again, be sure that you're keeping yourself centered and grounded, protected every day in every way. And we want you to harness your manifestation abilities in the here and the now. Anchor in what you want. Affirm what you wish. Knowing, believing in yourself and the divine creator that is within each and every one of you. And in the universe and in the universal law and the divine and all of the wonderful tools and protectors and angels and guides and guardians that are with us. And are you being your own warrior? because I know so many of us are happy to warrior for other people and to rise up and be there and protect, but sometimes we forget to be our own warriors. And as a warrior, there are times that you need to rally for yourself. And remember to give energy to what you want. I've been traveling and seeing friends. So I just saw, last Sunday after service, I saw friends that my dad and Bunny went to junior high together. So of course my dad has just passed away, but Bunny is 85. And so was here visiting from Texas with, and of course her children and I have all grown up with each other since birth, having been friends for their family, so. She is fighting lung cancer, and she had to have one of her legs amputated below the knee. And she is in such joy of her life, never a complaint. Somebody alarming. And just a joy to be around, a joy to be with. She could complain. She's undergoing chemo. She's had hearing issues. But she just lives in the moment, and she lives in joy. And it's such an example. As we were at a function with another friend who, bless her, sustained an injury, but since she got that injury, she now has identified her entire being with that injury and can't go any place or anything or meet a new person or an experience without, well, I have is the introduction line. So rather than being in herself, being present in the moment, she has lived for 6 years as her injury. And of course, it's sad because she could have such a different experience in her entire life, all around her, if she would be in the here and in the now. And so making those choices of where do we align ourselves with. We all experience health challenges, we lose loved ones, but are we going to stay in the pain of that moment, or are we going to create amazing, wonderful things for ourselves and in our lives? Create your own action plan for miracles so that they start noticing we have miracles every day in our lives that we go unnoticed. One of my old bosses used to say, "You're stepping over dollars to pick up pennies." And sometimes it's a little miracle, but sometimes we don't see the big miracles either that are happening in our lives. In so many little ways and big ways, whether it's, I got a parking space. So the more you acknowledge the miracles in your life, the more that you manifest and give credence to those. The force is within you and unlimited. Be willing and be open. You create for yourself by your own understanding and harnessing the universal law to bring miracles into your life every single day. Write down what you want to create as a sacred being. Revise as needed. Get your little consciousness that goes running amok So sometimes you have to write it down and go, okay, wait, no, that's not. I have to get my magic marker and erase that. Christine?
One thing I thank God, or when I'm driving somewhere and the traffic seems to like just open up and I've got this clear, it's a miracle.
Absolutely, especially here. Especially here. But that is true, where you can create a pocket for yourself that you're like, hey, I hit all the green lights. And when you don't hit the green lights, it's not that miracles aren't happening, but maybe the miracle is that you got a red light and there was an accident up there that you were avoiding. So not putting out your universal best and not questioning when it doesn't go exactly as you perceive it should, because we still have a greater divine plan in order for protection that keeps us safe, that we get down the road and go, ooh, I would have been right about there if I hadn't hit that red light. So trust in that everything is unraveling as it should and in perfect divineness. So as I said, write things down and revise as needed, because in our humanness we frequently let ourselves, let the committee as it were run amok in our thinking, in our heads, and putting in our doubts, and I know I'm a great being, but... So as you write your list down, be sure that you revise as needed. Do-overs are always welcome. Every day we get the opportunity to do it again, do it over. Be sure that you're universal in your thinking. They recommend in the Power of Positive Thinking that you read your list 3 times a day. Meditate and know that your miracles are being delivered. It's just like Amazon. You can order it today and it'll be here tomorrow on your porch. So
Don't let anybody steal it.
that's right. So yeah, it's awesome. And time and space are different. So much different than they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So your miracles come express mail. Act and think as though your miracles are here and now. Know that your heart's desires come from everywhere. Don't put expectations on them. And I've had friends say, I want the perfect partner, but I'm still in love with Sally or Joe. It's like you have 8 partners knocking on the door, and neither one is Sally or Joe, and you've asked for your perfect partner, but you won't let it go to have your perfect partner, and that's just one example, to come in. So that's what I'm saying, release those thinkings of what your perfect partner may look like, because that you're so focused on one thing, you totally miss 8 other doors of opportunity that are open to you. Be open and flexible, as your divine perfectness may look different than what your mind says. So you applied for 3 jobs and you had an interview, and the one you thought you were going to get didn't come through, but 2 more did. So sometimes you have to let go of what you thought was going to be your idea of perfectness and allow universal perfectness. Be grateful for miracles, great and small. Yeah, like I said, little and big all the time. And you guys might, like since somebody give me some examples of miracles that they might have had happen recently or in the last short term. Jen.
Well, I'm just gonna say what happened to me last night. So Ronnie came immediately over after I fell, and I really couldn't get up, and we were trying to see if there was anything broken, and he immediately applied Reiki. He just went there, and I know I'm much better today because of Ronnie giving me that Reiki. I can guarantee you I would be in much worse shape. You know, and I mean, it's just, that was a miracle.
And the miracle that he was there, he could have
Yeah.
already left.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are all kinds of immediate miracles, and that is just one I want to acknowledge. And I think, you know, Ronnie's a beautiful example. He said, well, you called me to pull up my Reiki, didn't you, Janet? I said, yes, I did. So I'm gonna remind you what a good Reiki practitioner you are by creating, you know, this incident, whatever reason. And here we are, in the midst of a miracle. But I mean, it's amazing how and a lot of what, you know, Dottie was sharing earlier, and what we're talking about now is opening ourselves up to that miracle. Because I could have been just shut down and say, no, leave me alone, I'm in pain, you know, don't touch me. And I said, no. I said, there's healing happening right now. So it totally changed. And something about the miracle of not going through it alone. We don't have to go through it alone. We have people around us that'll be there as our loving support. What a gift.
Absolutely.
My miracle is we were at an event, a friend of ours got married, and we were getting ready to leave, and I said, I don't have anything for tomorrow for our community meal. And that was sure good chicken. I went up and said, do you happen to have any chicken left, and can I buy it from you? And they said, we've got lots of chicken left. And we got this huge pan of already cooked, seasoned chicken. And I said, well, can I pay you for that? And they said, no, Dottie, just take the chicken, you know, kind of like, stop bugging us about it, just take it. And I got in the car and thought, well, that was easy. But I think the miracles, sometimes we forget to ask. We forget to ask for help and support. And because we feel unworthy, or we feel like people are going to think there's something wrong with this if we ask for help. And so Janet was lucky that Ronnie was there and just volunteered, but I also feel that if you had seen Ronnie, you would have said, could you help me? So please, miracles happen, but sometimes you have to pray for the miracle to work.
And always remember to say thank you.
Always remember to say thank you. Yep.
Well, I had a deal with, I wanted a convertible. And I could see myself in the convertible, driving down the road with all this stuff. And unbeknownst to me, a friend of mine, well, I knew that she had bought this beautiful, was a Buick convertible, and it was leather seats, and I mean, it was just a beautiful car. And she was buying a house, and she couldn't have both, I don't know how it worked. Anyway, she came up to me, she said, do you know anybody who wants to just take over the payments of this car? Yeah, yo, me, I want. And so I got a beautiful car, just, you know, wire rims, you know, the whole thing. And just took over the payments. Didn't cost me anything extra, and it was more than I expected. I mean, it truly was a miracle, and it was just, it was a great car. I loved it, and it was a convertible, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I helped a friend by taking her car for her.
I know a lot of people in here I'm finding that it's so many times when that phone rings, I know who it is before I answer it. And some people would consider that a miracle.
Absolutely.
Divine guidance. Absolutely.
You were
Nice.
talking about Amazon and delivering packages, and I'm one of those Amazon persons. I don't like to go shopping. I just hate shopping. And yesterday I got a package from Amazon, and outside the package was completely annihilated. I've never had it. I opened it up and there wasn't a scratch or anything on the stuff that was on the inside.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
On October 1st, I'll have 10.
You're gonna have to stand up because people can't hear you.
My name is Mary Berry. Hello.
Hey, Mary Berry.
And October 1st, I will have 10 years clean from an addiction that was. But yeah, that's.
Hallelujah.
Yay.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's not only a miracle, that's hard work on your part.
That's hard work.
Mary,
David's talking to you.
David wants to.
David's talking to you.
honey,
Yes, Dave.
October 1st,
Mhm.
congratulations. It's also my birthday.
Happy birthday for both of you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is.
Well, and the ability to tell people this. So many times
Yeah.
people are gone through this struggle of getting rid of any addiction, and they keep it to themselves. But that ability for you to tell people shows how comfortable you are with yourself. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Joan wanted,
Yes,
Joan?
You know, I've always been struggling with how to define leadership because I've always been a leader and I never could put a formula. I love formulas and recipes, and leadership has never fallen into a formula or recipe for me. So yesterday, some friends that I haven't seen for 4 years dropped by, and the husband is creating this leadership program for the state, for University of California, state, not UC, but the state colleges. Okay, and he said, well, Joan, it's really simple. It's you have a vision, you have a passion, and then the strategies fall into place. I said, wow, there's my formula.
that was easy.
Yeah, that was easy. So a couple of years ago, I joined this Toastmasters group that was actually on the list to fail. They had I didn't know this, but they had designated as a failing group. So I didn't know that. I just kept going and bringing people and doing speeches, and pretty soon other people came in. Then they elected me president, and then I wrote 22 on the board. I have 22 weeks to get to designated distinguished club. And believe me, nobody would have believed we would ever meet that. I didn't even think that was real because it was such a disorganized, failing club. But you know what? We had the vision, and I had the passion to get up there and say, 21 weeks, 20 weeks, 19 weeks. Guess what? We made it.
Yay!
So, you know, sometimes in our business, it doesn't come together just, it seems to be struggle. It's kind of like that club, struggling. I know my business struggles at times. And what I realized is that you have to have the vision and the passion.
Yes, exactly.
And then the strategy. So that's why I'm starting these classes. That's one of my strategies. So I'm just excited about sharing that with you today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
And we have one more minute.
Well, you know, I joined this club called Kiwanis, and it led me here because we're looking for a wonderful speaker, and we found some great people here. And then I met my new friend here, Patty, through Kiwanis. We're both club presidents of our clubs, and so we met at the convention.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
In Las Vegas.
in Las Vegas.
That's
We're
amazing.
only a couple hours apart because she's in Dixon and I'm here, so.
Yay!
That's one thing we did to stay in Vegas.
It did. Well, we told about it, darn it.
Thank you for sharing, Michael. That was
That's
wonderful.
wonderful.
And so, part of your formula for creating miracles is surrounding yourself with wonderful people. And as he said, by joining clubs and being in groups and of course coming here every week with all the wonderful people. But have your power team. Create your power team that's gonna support your goals. Share what your wishes are with other people because there's always a magic in two or more gathered together. Eat healthy and take care of your temple because you're caring for body, mind, and spirit. So take good care of your temple as well. And listen to it. So when your ankle is, it means you need to slow down and let people take care of you. So if you'll just repeat after me real quickly. I am powerful and positive.
I am
Powerful and positive.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am aware of my body and its needs.
I am aware of my body and its needs.
I am universal and infinite.
I am universal and infinite.
I see beauty all around me.
I see beauty all around me.
I am an expression of the God Goddess.
I am an expression of the God Goddess.
I am a miracle.
I am a miracle.
We are all miracles.
We are all miracles.
Miracles are in our lives every day, and we are grateful.
Miracles are in our lives every day, and we are grateful.
And so have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Yay.